Welcome back to RPG Limit Break 2022. We have LareHalfmoon, and they're going to be running Adventure Time Pirates of the Enchirdion. Did I get it right that time?
Yep.
Hope I got it right that time.
Perfect.
Yay! Perfect! All right, Lare, take it away.
Awesome. Hello, RPG Limit Break. I am LareHalfmoon. This is Adventure Time Pirates of the Enchirdion, or as chat just recently dubbed it, Pirates of the Enchilada, because it's easier to say. And we're just going to go straight into it. And we're going to go in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
So we've got a huge cutscene gauntlet here right at the beginning, so plenty of time to introduce the game, myself, whatnot. So yeah, my name's LareHalfmoon. I'm a router for this game, and as of last week, the current world record holder again. Finally took it back from my friend Speedy after about a year or so. So this is a kind of like modern JRPG. Really takes after Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest and those styles of games. So it's got a big, as you'll see here in a second, developers said they were really inspired by Wind Waker for this, by which they mean the whole world has kind of been flooded and we're going to be sailing around on a boat to get from location to location. What else? I think we're just going to let this cutscene play while I think about anything else.
Tell me a little bit about what Adventure Time is, because I personally have never seen it.
Oh, okay. So first off, this game is set like right before the series finale, so massive spoilers like right from the beginning and like all the way through. Like even right now on screen, there's a huge spoiler that I'm not going to point out just in case. So Adventure Time, Cartoon Network show from about, God, I think 10 years ago at this point. Hands down, my favorite show, if not just like bit of medium in the world. It's got that like nice blend of meant for kids, but has a lot of stuff there for adults. Super trippy, super philosophical, especially as you get later into the show. So you got Finn. He's like the last-ish human left alive in the world, in like a weird post-apocalyptic world. And by post-apocalyptic, I mean like thousands of years in the future. The world's kind of like
let's just take the boat and go.
Reset itself, but now everything's weird and quirky. Like Finn lives in the grasslands in a treehouse, but there's the Ice Kingdom. It's like ruled by the Ice King. There's the Candy Kingdom. Just like all sorts of weird, cute, cartoony characters.
Okay, cool.
So when you're in the overworld, Jake has a little like scavenging ability where you can just kind of like reach out and grab stuff. So we're gonna do that to grab random items, money along the route. The characters also like to sing whenever we go into the overworld. So right now, we are going to the Ice Kingdom to talk to the Ice King to figure out why the Ice Kingdom's melting, which is why the sea level rose about 1,000 feet or so. Maybe not that high.
That's a big change.
Okay. Ooh, got a little bit of lag. That's okay. My computer's trying to do a lot. So, our main method of movement throughout the game is going beyond the Jake scooter. So every character has a ability they can do when they're kind of running around. Most of them is just like a basic attack, but Jake transforms into a scooter that scoots around really fast. So we're going to try to be on that as often as possible.
Forever. Gunter and the rest of my babies are missing. You know, just your basic average.
I love that they're talking to the king going, dude, man.
Other than that,
Ice King, it'll be fine.
yeah, we can get this all fixed up. Somehow.
How? My insurance doesn't cover acts of glob. I checked.
So, for those not familiar with the show, Ice King's just kind
He's
of
gotta know
like
something
a
about
wreck.
what
Like he's
happened.
supposed to be a
We have to
villain,
find a way to
but
make him
he's
talk.
more
Yeah. Maybe it's time we went all popo on his butt.
just sad most of the time.
Interrogation time?
Interrogation.
And not like crying sad, just kind of like sad to experience as a person. So here we got our first mini game. This is the I like to call this the good cop bad cop sequence. We got a few of them throughout the game.
Think I have time for this now?
So how this works?
Right.
They're interrogating him.
We'll take turns working him.
Yeah, they're gonna take turns, and you can either be good or bad. And the first one's always guaranteed to be like Finn's bad
Okay.
option, so I can just kind of like spam and you don't even see the interface. But what we have going on here is a kind of like Elder Scrolls style chat wheel. You have to bounce back and forth between the two guys.
Now we're getting somewhere. Let's keep up
So
the
now we need to
pressure.
do bad Jake. Oops.
See what happens when I get mad?
I'm sorry,
And then we're gonna
guys.
do
It's
bad
my
Finn,
fault.
and
After
we'll be
the
set.
first wall melted, I tried to refreeze it, but another wall melted. Before I knew it, I was living all open floor plan, and the water started rising.
Why are we being so mean to the Ice King?
We're almost there, man. Keep going.
Like I said, he's just sad to be around.
Spill your guts, Ice King. Tuh, I will break you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ice King's also like
Happened to my
very.
crowd.
He's got kind of a
Instead
tragic
freezing,
backstory,
it
so
kept
he's just kind
melting.
of
Oh, I
insane.
melted my whole kingdom. Me, I
So,
melted it. I was so annoyed. with
they're
my
usually pretty
crowd,
rough with
I
him.
threw it away.
Especially like earlier on in the
Maybe
show,
that move, thinking
or when he's
about
just
it in
like being
retrospect.
Good job, Jake. The interrogation was a success.
unreasonable. And just like impossible to deal with.
First thing we need to do
But
is
yeah,
find
no.
your crown, Ice King.
I do find it
Yeah.
hilariously
If you
messed
figure
up
out
that
what's wrong with it and fix it, you can start refreezing the Ice King.
we just come over to Ice King and like mentally abuse him to figure out what's going on.
Now that I think about it, I kind of like having beachfront property.
Dude, we cannot leave Ooh underwater because you want to kick it at the beach.
I have a quick donation for you if we've got a moment.
go ahead.
All right. I actually have a donation from Speedy Race Car for $100. Thank you so much. And Speedy Race Car says, "May choose Goose have mercy on you."
I figured you might need it.
I will definitely need that. Thanks, dude. Speedy is one of the other,
Thanks, man. Come on, Jake.
I guess the other contemporary runner for the game. So a couple years ago, I was just looking for a game to speedrun. Just kind of like went through my library and come on. I found this game, went through it, routed it out, and then checked out other runs and saw they had a bunch of tricks that I wasn't able to find, but I found a bunch of tricks they weren't able to find, so I was able to make like a brand new run. That brought the time down like by quite a bit. I think we brought it down by like 20, 30 minutes. And then Speedy found it around the same time, and he started helping me find glitches and just doing the run at the same time. Eventually got to where the run is today. Guys, this is the forced tutorial fight. It's pretty scripted, and I'll explain why later. Oops. So it's kind of like slowly unlocking the different options so everybody can attack. Everybody has an item they can use. You have special abilities. This is a sword we just got from Ice King. There's like a special ability. Luckily, the banana guards are weak to ice, so Finn can one-shot them.
looks bad.
And then we're gonna give Jake an ice gem that we picked up from breaking one of those pillars in the Ice Kingdom, and that'll make all of Jake's physical attacks ice elemental. So we do. Wow, that's really unlucky. Okay, that's like the worst variation. This is like the only bit of RNG in the tutorial fight, and that was like the worst version of it. Okay, so if you're listening really hard, you might have noticed that Finn and Jake were singing in the background. That's because during that fight, if you just kind of like hold forward as we go into the fight, the boat will keep sailing down this little alleyway. And depending on your luck, you can gain a little bit of extra distance. Because you're going through, like, the overworld is running as normal, there are a bunch of boxes that appear. And if you get one in front of your boat, you can actually kind of veer off to the left and get a little extra distance. And in ridiculously rare scenarios, like I've seen this happen once in a controlled environment trying to get this to happen, it is theoretically possible to get 2 boxes lined up just right so that one kind of like steers you off to the left, and then the other one will steer you all the way here to the Candy Kingdom. Again, probably never gonna happen if you even try to like force a setup, but it's just one of those cool things that like could happen. Okay, we're gonna do a weird little glitch here that I'm not gonna explain quite yet because it kind of spoils a different glitch later. But that was a character upgrade menu. So a weird kind of quirk about this game is leveling up doesn't make your character stronger. It gives you the opportunity to pay to make them stronger. So money routing is really important in this run. Another cool thing that just happened there. So a lot of this game's UI kind of like comes up, or is usable before you can actually see it. So I actually did Jake's first turn. Nice. Before I even saw what was going on. So we can use that to save just a little bit of extra time. And the strat for this fight is we maxed out Finn's ice sword so he does as much damage as possible, and he has like a small chance of one-shotting them, but a attack from Jake will finish them off. So I'd say it was nice when Jake missed, but then Finn rolled high anyway.
We need to find who's in
Nice. Oop. I got on the scooter and then immediately got off. During those like forced like camera sequences where it kind of like takes control away and shows you something, when you get onto the Jake scooter, you actually move forward a little bit. So if you transform right before the trigger, you can save a little bit of time by transforming while that interaction's going on, and then you're just ready to go when it's done. Okay, so like any good exploration-based RPG, we have side quests. This is literally the only one we're going to do. And that's because it gives us an ability for Jake that ends up being pretty useful. So every character has one ability tree by default, and then all of them have another one that's unlocked via a side quest, and another one that's unlocked via a treasure chest. But here we're going to do something weird and not intended. I think I'm going to do it and then explain it. Oop, maybe I went a little too high there. I couldn't hear myself jumping. Hopefully I don't fall through the floor. Yep, I did. Okay. Whoops. Okay, so that's called a super jump. I did one way too high. So basically how super jumping works is you get a character, it's usually easiest to do with Jake, kind of like stuck inside some geometry. And then you do a bunch of jump inputs, and all of the like jump velocity you're supposed to get will stack on top of each other, so you can jump as high as you want. Even so high that when you come back down, you just clip to the floor like I just did. I don't know what happened to the sound, but I suddenly can't hear anything. I'm going to assume that's me.
I've been being quiet.
Whoops. Okay, and then we got into a fight. This is going great. Okay. I've never had this audio glitch happen before. This is really weird. So the reason I got caught by those banana guards is because I couldn't hear them coming after me. Because it's sort of RNG whether they decide to follow you over there. So I like to come over here for safety and let them walk away. Not being able to hear the jumps is going to be really bad. Ah, perfect. Okay, so we skipped a little sequence.
Colonel Candy Corn, what
Where they want us to kind of like run around, basically go the intended way, but we can kind of just like jump straight up here to the cutscene.
That's High Admiral Candy Corn to you, landlubbers. I have placed my crew on a
Basically like the next waypoint. So the big limiting factor in like how fast we can go in the game is the waypoint system.
Don't what?
Basically, the game's hard-coded to only progress by hitting all the different checkpoints. There are some things they want you to do in between those checkpoints, but hitting all the checkpoints is the ultimate stopping factor and how fast we can go.
While we're at it, ask him why he's talking
So we'll be able to skip a bunch of stuff that I'll point out
It's really weirding me
later, but we are basically just going checkpoint to checkpoint as fast as possible. So here we got our next good cop, bad cop. Good cop, bad cop scenario. All of them have a kind of like set solution. It doesn't matter who goes first, but basically for a bad king, we need to have 3 bad cop inputs. This one we need 2 good cop, a bad cop, and 2 good cops.
He doesn't look too happy. You better go careful here.
And the reason we
I like you,
do
Admiral.
it as intended, it is possible to fail these,
I don't get it.
but they kind of give you
Nothing personal, you understand.
a bunch of leeway.
I have to protect the kingdom.
So I don't really need the rewards from doing it right,
Have been spotted
but
on the starboard bow.
doing it wrong is just so slow, it's not worth it.
Hey man, my friend here doesn't understand all this sailor speak. Help us out. What's going on?
I did get some insider
This is also-
information from Speedy
ahead.
Racecar, who lets us know that you can fix the sound glitch by restarting the game.
The high seas around the kingdom, so I raised the
Yeah,
alarm.
okay.
We must stay on
I
lockdown.
mean, the cutscene's going okay. If it's still glitched when I come out, I might reset. But I'm gonna be doing a bunch of resetting pretty soon anyway, so I might just leave it alone for
Snap out of it. We
next
need to
10
find
minutes
the
or so.
princess.
I guess maybe I've gotten a little carried away with all this pirate business. Okay, okay.
lost my train of thought.
I should really keep things on lockdown until the princess comes
Oh, I'm
back,
sorry.
though. But come to think of
No,
it,
no problem.
I haven't seen her for a
I
while.
have well wishes from Ria, who donates $15 and says, "Go, Lare, go."
She'll think I've been a terrible
Hey, thanks, Ria.
admiral.
If the
It's one of
guards leave us
my
alone, we'll go and find the princess.
FF14 rating
Promise,
buddies.
dude.
Well, if you promise, then maybe I could.
Oh yeah.
Drop the
So,
lockdown,
kind
bro.
of like
We
in
can help
the
sort this mess out
in the
for you.
vein of being able to interact with the UI before you can see it.
Yes, you can be trusted.
For sort of like the same reason, we just spam the very first input with Ice King because it's always going to be
I'll send out an order to
bad
say
Ice King,
Fern and
or
Jack
bad
are
Finn.
not pirates and are not to be
I actually have in my
Fare thee
notes
well.
kind of like cues on like how to do these interrogation sequences as quickly as possible because they're fixed. Like if you do the same inputs at the same time, sometimes you can get like a instant input. But I'm trying to explain that I don't do much of other things, so I'm gonna do it slow and consistent. Okay. Yeah, the lack of sound is annoying, but the cutscenes are still happening, so we're fine. Okay. Now, oh, I did this last time too. I was gonna do a cool glitch, but I'll have to do it on the
Why are
next
you out
cutscene.
here? Yeah, why you hiding, girl? You seen Princess Bubblegum?
It's kind of one of the main
While I was trying to round up candy,
Probably one of, like,
kids,
the
I ran into
defining
Bonnabelle. She had ice
glitches
cream crown and said
of
something weird was happening to it.
this
While we
run.
were talking, somebody kidnapped her and
But
took
I'll
my
explain
hat
it
and threw
for the
in
next
water.
cutscene.
I'm stuck out here. It was the only shade I could get to in time.
We need to get that crown and save PB. Did you see who attacked you?
No, whoever it was, they snuck up on us. I saw which way they went, and I can help you, but only if you can get my hat back.
She has
We'll
very
be back
sharp
soon, Marcy.
teeth.
Hang in there.
Yeah, stay cool.
Yeah, that is Marceline the Vampire Queen.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Okay, so Marceline is in a bit of trouble. So since she's a vampire, she can't go out in the sun. So she's hiding under the tree. So we need to go get her hat back. Now, what the game wants us to do is to go like all the way around the river, but this gap is just barely crossable with Jake's scooter jump, which is nice for getting across. But now we have to get back, and we have to carry on this item, so I can't go back to Jake's form. So we're gonna do this cool little glitch called river hopping. So I got it first time, so I won't be able to like explain like why that was cool. Let me do this trick and then I'll explain river hopping because I gotta do it again in a second. All right, so here's the trick. If you open up the character upgrade screen right as you go into a cutscene,
Sorry, it's all
you can upgrade
soggy
your
and stuff.
characters during the middle of the cutscene. So I lose no time to having to
Alright,
do
so
upgrade
whoever
sequences.
took Bonnabelle, put her on a boat and sailed
And
off
I
in the
think
direction
that's
of the evil
neat.
forest. Or,
Yeah, I
you
need
know,
all
where
Jake's
the
attack.
evil forest used to be.
And then
That's
another
where we
funny
have to
side
go.
effect is
Let's get back to the boat.
when you're done upgrading your character, it puts everybody back where they were, so it messes with everybody's position during the cutscene. All right, so now we got another river jump that really breaks the game, because it lets us jump over to this end game area. So like those banana guards, they're like max level. We're not supposed to be able to do this right now, but we can use. Basically, you jump into a gap, and the game normally forces you back to your side of the gap, but it only forces the active player. So if I swap to a different character as they're falling, the character I jumped over with is allowed to cross the gap, and then I can swap to them, and I've basically jumped over a gap I'm not supposed to do. And since I found it on that river, we call it river hopping. I'm going to upgrade Marceline here real quick for this next fight. I'm going to hit the guy on the right, because sometimes the guy in the middle likes to block, and that really messes with my script. Yeah, you.
And awesome.
So the cool thing about routing for this game is characters have a very specific like order that they go in. There's no speed stat. All of your party members just kind of have a built-in priority as to when they go. And the only thing that breaks that priority is whoever we start the fight as, or whoever we are controlling when we go into the fight. So that's why I start this fight as Marceline, so she can get the first hit. And that just kind of naturally aligns to the fight going the way that I want. Because the fight order is always, like the turn order is always going to be the same. It's always going to be Marceline, Finn,
Thanks, Gumball Guardian.
the Banana Guards, Jake. That's going to happen every single time. So I literally have like a step-by-step script on how to do every single fight in the game. Which isn't foolproof. There are certain, like if a character dies, that totally throws off the script. If a character misses, then enemies don't die when I want them to, and that throws it off. So there's still room for improvisation and recovery, but there is a kind of like best case scenario that I'm always shooting for and can play around. Speaking of random glitches in this game, there's supposed to be like a bunch of gnomes guarding that chest, but because we're going through this whole scenario so fast, I think the game just like forgets or doesn't have the time to load it, so we just kind of get it for free. Oh my god, I can't believe I got it first try. Okay, so now we have the next really big glitch in the game, the thing that kind of like defines this version of the route. And for it to work, we need a particular item. There's one particular item in the game that's absolutely broken when paired with a skill that we're going to pick up from Marceline. And I'll point it out before I actually do the glitch. So the thing we really want is this, the Tin of Special Overcharge. Basically, it lets your character do double damage with their special attacks for a turn. So we're going to do something called the infinite shop glitch. So I opened up my menu, closed it, immediately opened up the shop menu with kind of like the wrong input. And that's me carry the shop around. I need this gnome to get out of my way. Go away.
Look at him run.
The snow is being awful to me right now. So what this lets me do is kind of like walk around with the shop, which isn't super helpful quite yet.
Yeah. You see anyone coming this way?
Where it becomes really helpful is when we bring it to the next shop, and then we can do
Anybody
something
remember where we
really
parked the
cool.
boat?
For right now, I'm going to finish up this side quest. Now we got a new ability for Jake, which is nice for a couple reasons. It's so Jake's like default ability that he gets is a kind of whirlwind like spinny attack that has a chance to confuse enemies and himself. It's also super RNG, like it can hit anywhere, like the base version can hit anywhere from like 2 to 7 times, and it's also random who it hits, so it's not super reliable. This dog ring ability is way better. It just does like 1 instance of damage on whoever you want. It hits pretty hard, and it also has a chance to lower, cause a status effect called Flumped, which is basically defense down. But in addition to bringing their defenses down, it also prevents enemies from blocking, which is really nice for staying on script. The other nice thing about Doggerang and the ability we're going to go pick up right now, which is Razor Claw for Marceline, is they're of the Swift element, which is basically wind. I always think of it as wind. I never call it Swift. So wind's really nice because of all the fights we have to do, they're all either weak to wind or actively don't resist it when they resist every single other element. Like, it's really weird. The final 2 bosses... oh, actually, that's not quite right. The second to last boss does resist wind, but because of the boss mechanic, it doesn't matter. But the final boss has this thing, and so does the second to last boss, where they will make themselves resistant with an item to any element that you hit them with. But for the final boss, he just doesn't do that for Swift, so basically free damage for us. Yeah, I think for the rest of this segment, we got some downtime. I'm just picking up Marceline's ability and then going to the Evil Forest, which is where we're supposed to go, but Marceline's ability is so good, it's worth it to take this detour.
Hey. You are watching this perfectly normal Adventure Time Pirates of the Enchirdion run. I don't mind the shop menu. It's supposed to be there. Just a reminder to everybody that there are some really cool prizes that you can get by donating during this run. We have the Choco Knight original art by Peter Lockerbie. It is very cute. There is the Final Fantasy Ultimania Archive Volume 3, and you can get a chance for that one with a $10 minimum donation, and the Willow Dragon Pearler with a $20 minimum donation. And sorry, the Choco Knight original art is for a $15 minimum dollar donation. If you donate those amounts, you get a chance to win those prizes. And at any time during the marathon, if you donate a cumulative of $100, you have a chance to get a Final Fantasy. Oh, why do I keep saying Final Fantasy? I'm looking at it. It says PlayStation. K, please. PlayStation 5 with the Final Fantasy 7 remake and Tales of Arise games bundled up together for a $100 cumulative donation. You get a chance to win that. So definitely get your donations in. And, you know, Lare, I have a really important question for you. Cats or dogs?
Directed at me specifically?
Yeah. You like cats or do you like dogs better?
I am a kind of like all-around pet person, but currently I do just have the one cat. So I guess technically I'm a cat person.
Cat person. Well, Lare has spoken. if you didn't have a specific thing you wanted to donate to, friends, you should definitely donate to get that cat in the Cat Quest 2 run. You know, just saying. Dog's winning right now, so cats.
Okay, so
Right,
here
where are we heading into?
This is the Evil Forest. We're here to find Princess Bubblegum, who's been kidnapped. And here we're gonna finally resolve the shop glitch that's going on right now. But first, we gotta do a little encounter. So I'm gonna upgrade my guys so they can do this next fight as quickly as possible.
Yeah, we're here.
And this next fight, as far as like routing goes, was really convenient because we used to do this other fight kind of like further up the way, because we kind of like need experience here just to get us in a comfy spot for the next few fights. And this one's really nice because there are like 3 different colors of gnomes you can fight, and the gray ones are the best. They're the easiest to fight, and they give like 5 times as much experience for no reason. And there's 2 of them. So just like a nice big chunk of XP. Oh, another thing about XP routing. This game has a last hit bonus, where the character who gets the final hit gets an XP bonus equal to half of the experience that enemy is worth. So we're going to use that to kind of turbocharge Marceline for the rest of the fight. Okay, so now we're doing the glitch. So we glitched the first shop. Now we're at a second shop. So we can buy things from this shop as if we were buying from the other shop. But if there's nothing under the... So like in this shop's menu, if there was supposed to be something, if there's nothing here, we can basically buy an infinite number of the item that we want. And even if there is something there like that, we can just tab over and tab back, and then I can still buy infinite amounts of whatever I want. I'm gonna see what else he has. So there are a couple other things I want. Oops.
Come see me again, and to your knee, I'll
I can hear something on the other side of those bushes.
One more cutscene upgrade sequence. Look at my notes to remember what I want.
Peppermint Butler? What gives?
Finn, Jake, Marceline, finally! After all my
yeah,
time
we'll
in
do
exile,
that.
someone is finally here to
All
rescue
of
me.
you.
Rescue you? From what?
Oh, ever since the flood, I've been trapped here, living like a savage with only my
Yeah,
trusted
and then attacking
friend
accuracy
Watson
on
for
Finn
company.
and Jake.
It's Todd, actually.
Shut up,
Okay.
Watson!
So we found Peppermint Butler. He's having a
Look, man, we're trying to find Princess Bubblegum. Have you seen her?
It's all right,
kind of a Tom Hanks moment
Everything's all right.
during the crisis.
He's not gonna be much help like this.
Yeah.
Peppermint
Guess
Butler
we should
is
question
awesome.
him.
He's
See if
kind
we can
of
calm him down and get him to talk.
Princess Bubblegum's right-hand man. And he's super sweet, super innocent, also a insanely powerful,
Butler, we're looking
like
for
satanic
Phoebe.
magician.
You seen her?
Like he helps Finn and
I think we
Jake
did see something, didn't we, Watson?
go to the underworld.
We've been here so long, it's all a bit fuzzy and we're
There's an
a little
episode
on
where he
edge
just
right
like
now.
turns this guy's children into
Whoa, things don't
demons
look
just
shit for you
to
here.
kind of,
Let's try and cool him down a bit.
I don't know how to describe it. Just kind of
Man,
like put
you
it in
know
his
you've always
face
been my
because he's having
favorite
like
candy
a
guy. Tell
disagreement
us what
with
you
him.
know so we can find PB.
We did see something, didn't we?
Peppermint Butler's
Watson?
awesome
Now,
and
what
crazy.
was it? Oh, my poor head.
This is going to be the
What do you
last
think,
good
Watson?
cop,
Should we
bad
tell
cop
these sailors
sequence we're
what
going to
we
be doing
know?
in the run.
Yes, please.
There is
Tell them
one
I want to go
more
home.
that you're supposed to
No,
do,
you're
but
right,
we
Watson.
just kind of
We
super jump
must
past it, and I'll
just
point it
save
out when we get there.
ourselves.
Wait, what?
Peppermint Butler, snap out of this and listen up.
Wait, it's all coming back to me now.
One sort of fun thing about the cutscene upgrade
must be
glitch
brave.
is
Even in the face of
in this,
adversity, we must
in like
think
one
of
other place in
others before
particular, you have to do
ourselves.
it kind of fast.
Sounds
Because
like
if
it's coming
you
back to you, Pep. Nice.
basically if you keep a menu up that's not supposed to be up long enough, the game
Think,
kind
Pep,
of
bud. Use all your thinking
gets
minds.
confused
You can do
as to like what inputs it should be registering, so it's really easy to soft lock the game. Like even doing that encounter with the gnomes with the shop menu up is kind of risky, but it goes by so fast, it's pretty much a non-issue.
Looked like the princess. There is a clearing up there somewhere. Let me mark it on
Yeah, there are like a lot of glitches in this game are
Interrogation was a success.
technically like super risky to do, but the autosave system in this game is so clean. It's never really that risky. Like, it's pretty much gonna be impossible for me to lose this run, especially now that I've done the shop glitch, because if anything crazy happens, like if I fall through bounds again, I can just reset the game and it'll put me somewhere safe.
This whole flood mess.
Seriously, it's Todd.
Shut up, Watson, and get the raft.
Get a little bit of downtime here
We've
during
been
this
working
cutscene.
on this escape raft so we can leave this place.
Sure. So just a reminder that you are watching RPG Limit Break 2022. We're coming to you from Salt Lake City, Utah. And RPG Limit Break proudly supports the National Alliance on Mental Illness, aka NAMI, to get involved in the fight against mental illness and the stigmas it can bring. Please reach out to NAMI via their state organizations or on Facebook, where they can be found as NAMI, on Instagram, or Twitter as @NamiCommunicate. It's not weakness to need help, so please reach out if you think that you need help.
Awesome. So, the game just showed us where Princess Bubblegum is, and we're supposed to take this path and go through a bunch of encounters, do a bunch of puzzles and stuff. But we're going to abuse Jake's scooter and how circular this level is designed. So this is the way we're supposed to take back. Didn't get it that time.
Smells like a dog around here.
But with Jake's scooter, we can like just barely cross the gap, and we can kind of do this whole thing backwards, which ends up being way quicker. Whoops. I'll just do this normally, so I don't end up wasting a bunch of time. That's another spot I can just jump. But bridges in this game are really weird. They really cut your momentum, and you're going so fast on the Jake scooter that when you come off the bridge, you're technically not touching the ground. So I don't get a jump input, so it messes my timing. So we'll just do it the normal way. Okay, so here's where we start to see like how broken Razor Claw and Tin of Overcharge is. So I don't remember exactly how much damage I was doing earlier, but it wasn't nearly that much. I need a battery. I'm gonna attack. So the other nice thing about being able to do that much damage, and I'm sure this is like true for like any RPG. Generally speaking, the longer a fight goes, the messier it gets. So the quicker we can end a fight, the more consistent it is. So being able to buy, an infinite number of an item that makes this ridiculously powerful
Are you okay?
is super nice for speed and consistency.
I'd be fine, Finn, but you got to get me out of here.
And there's one other item I wanted to get from the shop glitch. So normally, the fact that I got the tin of overcharge on the first run, like the first shop, is ridiculous. Part of the estimate for the run was, if I needed to, just sitting there, resetting the game, trying to get it in the shop, because the shop inventory is completely randomized every time you load the game. So there's always a chance it could be a tin. So the optimal route is to just force a tin being in that shop and buying all the however many that we need. Another really important item that I want to grab at some point is called the double turn formula, which basically you throw on a character and they get to take 2 actions for the rest of the battle. Not 2 turns, because they don't get to use another item, which is another kind of like crazy design decision of this game. Characters can use items and attack. But yeah, the double turn formula lets you take 2 actions. So, and when I use a Tin of Overcharge, it counts for that entire turn. So I basically get 2 for 1 if I double turn Marceline. So she just, as long as I have the energy to do it, she gets a ridiculous amount of power. I really don't like that I didn't get a double turn for this next fight, because it's kind of awful with that one. So what's happening now, kind of like solo character minigame. So Marceline has like sections in the game where you play as her and her alone, not as anybody else. Remember that for later. And she gets to turn invisible. It's just kind of like a, typical stealth section. This part always scares me, because I'm going to come out of stealth right in front of that guy. Actually path that pretty well. Sometimes I end up running out like 2 feet in front of him, and it feels like I'm just gonna fail right then and there. Because if you get caught, you get put into a fight that you can't escape from. It's just like an auto fail, basically, that you have to sit through.
Long time no
Okay, so this is Fern. Fern's the worst.
Oh man.
So there are 5. We only do like 10 fights in the entire run, and we have 5 of them that I have scripts for where I want a double turn formula. I also have a priority on like who I want a double turn formula for. Number 1 priority is the final boss, and number 2 is Fern. Because he has some really annoying mechanics when you let him like ramp up. Hopefully I won't see it, but we'll see. Okay, Marceline, yeah, we need the battery. Not a super battery, don't need that much.
That was tasty.
The other really annoying thing about this fight is I really want Marceline to get the final hit on Fern. So, like, the way I win the fight becomes really important. I didn't get any use tissues either. That's really annoying. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna focus on doing this fight relatively clean, so that we got some airtime.
Sure. Let's see here. I just wanted to show some love for our community artists, Carrie Fry, who designed the RPG Limit Break logo, and Mega Weasel and It's Casa, who are responsible for the awesome emotes that you gain access to by subscribing to the channel. And just remember that all revenue from subs and ads that we run help us run future RPG Limit Break marathons, but fret not, because 100% of all of the donations go straight to Nami. So thank you everybody so much for your support. And just a reminder that there are several bid wars and incentives still coming up. There is Main the Cat or Dog on Cat Quest 2. Another Goddess bonus stage for Half Minute Hero that is currently sitting at $0 of 500. So there are plenty of really cool incentives and donation bid wars and things to get your donations into.
Awesome. Okay, thankfully got through Fern really clean. When I started doing, practicing this route again and practicing no double turn strats for Fern, I forgot about this funny little mechanic he has where if you charge yourself too high, so that little energy bar at the top, that's basically like a shared MP meter across the entire party. And you generally want to have a lot of it because we kind of want to, open up with, double turn Marceline, double Razor Claw, which is really expensive. But the problem with getting too much energy against Fern is if you have a lot of it, I think more than 75%, he has a move where he drains all of it and heals him proportionate to how much he drained, which is just awful, because then you have no energy to do any big hitting moves. He just healed himself, so now all your numbers are off. It's just a bad time. I've lost like multiple minutes to that guy.
All right.
Thankfully we got through it clean this time.
You think? You scurvy dog.
Hey, pirate talking or not, that's just hurtful.
Should we look for him? He can't have gotten far.
So yeah, now we're pretty much out of the woods. And we got a big, like, around the world kind of sequence where we're basically just gonna go back to the boat and kind of take Princess Bubblegum on a little cruise.
Climb
on.
Whoa, he got really big.
It's not a terrible lot going on here. I'm just gonna do this normally.
All aboard!
I'm considering... No, I'm not gonna do it. This is another good spot. So I have all the tins I want, but I don't have all the double turns that I want. This is another good spot to set up the infinite shop glitch, where I can like farm for a double turn, and then I would basically carry that shop all the way around the world and back to the Evil Forest to buy an infinite copy, or infinite copies. But I got through Fern. Fern's like the worst to do without a double turn, so I think I'm okay. So yeah, lots of downtime here while we go sailing around the world.
We're sailing around the world. Tell me about Princess Bubblegum. Is she like from the Candyland?
She actually made the Candy Kingdom. She's got kind of a crazy backstory. And she's really fun because she comes off as this super bubbly, cutesy, innocent Candy Kingdom ruler. Because like all of her citizens are like kind of dopey. But she's actually kind of this almost maniacal mastermind. And she's also like, she gets a lot of flack for being super manipulative. There's like I don't feel bad about this because I said this game is like full of spoilers, so I warned you. She's actually thousands of years old, and she actually like keeps that from the main character because Finn's super into her like early on in the show. And then about like halfway through the series, Finn has this like past life regression sequence. And then during that sequence, he meets Princess Bubblegum as she's building the Candy Kingdom thousands of years ago.
Sorry, man. There is all kinds of messed up stuff going down.
Here's your crown.
But yeah, she's got...
Should be good as new.
I don't know, she's weird, super controversial, because she's definitely got like a bit of a control complex going on. But she like genuinely wants like what's best for her and hers, but she's also kind of like an unrelenting control freak and just makes some questionable decisions.
So I saw her and the Vampire Queen have pirate hats. Why don't the other two have pirates' hats? We're supposed to be pirates of the enchilada.
So, yeah, I think the thing is, Finn and Jake kind of didn't get the memo. They kind of slept through the whole flood thing, so they're kind of a little late to the party on the whole pirates motif. So Finn and Jake can kind of
I mean, it's not like we can carry shops halfway around the world, so, it's hard to get, like, a pirate hat. That's fair.
They got a cool pirate boat.
We have a pirate boat, yeah. Well, folks, you can't donate for pirate boats, but there are several bid wars that are going on right now. For Half Minute Hero, you can name the Evil Lord. Currently, the Evil Lord is with Bransu at $10. You can name the hero. That's between RTA-chan with $10 and Subaru with $5. The knight currently has Zillion with $10. And the princess is our very own Hoishin, currently at $24.45. And then coming up in Xenoblade Chronicles, you can also choose the main character voice actor. There are a ton of options here, but currently Karina Reeves is in the lead with $25, and Adam Howden is just behind that one with $20 as second. There are a ton of other options here. We have Tara Platt, Yuri Lothenfat, Kira Buckland, Ben Diskin. There's more. Like, I can't... Mary Elizabeth McGlynn. Yeah, there are so many options here. So definitely check it out and see which one is your favorite.
We should check it out.
There's no way to get to the Fire Kingdom right now. There are huge steam geysers blocking the way.
So now we're
Never
back
get
in
around it.
Candyland, and what's the deal? What are we doing next?
Hey, we should probably think about putting Fine Bean on our agenda at some point.
So yeah, we found Princess Bubblegum, brought her back to her kingdom.
Why don't you try to track down Fern? He's probably still
things are
somewhere
like,
in the evil forest.
okay,
And maybe you can
but
find out what's up with the
King
pirates
Kingdoms
while you're
always
at
got
it.
something
Sounds like a plan.
going on, because like I said, the candy systems are a little dopey, so...
Things tend to get totally flooby wonkers if I'm away from the Candy Kingdom for too long during a crisis.
that.
But let
So
me
she
know
kind of
when
has to
you're
be
fine.
around
And don't get captured.
to make sure people don't get, you know, caught on fire for too long. So now we're gonna go looking for Bimo, who's just been, Bimo's like a little, kind of like walking, talking Game Boy. He's super sweet, super innocent, but also like made out of electronics and has just been stranded in a world that's kind of flooded. So it's a little concerning that we haven't gone looking for him sooner. But now that Prince of Bubblegum is safe, we're gonna go back to the Evil Kingdom, Evil Forest, see if we can't find Fern, who as of right now is kind of like our big antagonist. So we're gonna go back, investigate, see what we can find. This whole game is kind of, I don't know, it almost feels like one big long fetch quest. And the game even like acknowledges it later. There's not a lot of like forward motion going on in the plot as far as like trying to figure out or like resolve what's going on. It's kind of Finn and Jake just wandering around like what's going on and never finding out until the last 10 minutes.
Oh, what are those quests in games called where you get like the item and you got to take it to one place and they give you another item and you take
Fetch
that
quest.
to the other place? Is it a fetch quest? I thought it had like a specific name, like
Oh, okay, the kind of like daisy chaining of like item to item to item.
Yeah. Where it's kind of like a fetch quest, except it keeps going and keeps going. The trade chain. Yeah, the game that comes to mind when I think of that is actually Link's Awakening, but like where you get one item and you kind of go. It's kind of like that, except we're getting hints. We're going to trade hints.
Yeah.
Gotta find another way.
The one that comes to my mind is the one in Ocarina of Time to get Biggoron sword.
Oh yeah. Like that one,
like-
exactly.
There's actually, that's one of the things I like, really like about Adventure Time is like super conscious, like aware of like the genre that it's in. There's an entire episode that's based around that, and then ends up being like for naught. One quick cutscene upgrade before this fight. Marceline, because we've been pumping her full of XP, she's a slightly higher level
Look, they have Bimo.
than everybody else. Hey, there's Bimo. And Bimo's in a pirate getup.
LSP? Get out of here before.
So this is Lumpy Space Princess, and she's
No, Jake.
a character.
Leader.
She's probably
Around like lumping idiots. Get
one of those characters that you find like absolutely insufferable and maybe never stop, but like after a while, the idea of her character kind of grows on you. It's a little sad, just doesn't get more screen time. I need to do the no double turn strat. I was supposed to start with Finn. That's okay. I was also not supposed to do that. That's fine. You can work around it.
Quadrilateral.
And then yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so Jake's supercharged, so I think I'm just gonna do a kind of like a pay it forward strat, where instead of everybody tinning themselves, they'll tin the next person in line. Since I made that blunder, I don't know why that didn't do. Oh, right, that doesn't work because it doesn't last by the time it gets to their turn. So I just wasted those. We'll do this guy. And then we'll have Finn and Jake continue to womp. And this guy. Oh, Finn, don't die. Finn, don't die. Actually, that's not a huge deal. It's annoying, but it's not a huge deal. I'm actually not even going to bring him up quite yet. I'm going to get rid of the candy pirates in the middle. So yeah, in case anybody wasn't sure, commenting your own run and doing the run is hard. Yeah, I want some energy. I don't want to kill the guy quite yet. I want to get Finn back up so he gets the XP. So I just don't want that to get messed up. Okay, and then I should be able to...
Back in the game.
Okay.
You know, this was
Little
a
messy, but we got
perfectly
through it.
good. It's a perfectly good opportunity for Finn and Jake to have pirate hats.
Not to spoil anything, that's sadly just not going to happen. Okay. As much as I would like. I mean, Finn's got a peg arm, if you want to take that.
Sure. I feel so spoiled.
Next big kind of like trick here. So Beamo's locked up in this cage, and the game wants us to go like all the way around, solve a bunch of puzzles, do a bunch of fights, but we can just wedge ourselves onto this rock and jump right up here to the end sequence. And one more upgrade sequence, because Finn and Jake leveled up.
You totally lame land losers will never take my prisoner alive. Oh, great. Now I'm all out of prisoners, and I'm gonna have to find more pirates.
Ice
They don't
sword.
just grow on trees and stuff. You guys ruin everything!
For the record, we are not cool with this LSP.
Oh man, Jake, BMO's a pirate too.
Huh? Oh no, I was just blending
So yeah,
in.
since I did that, a funny side effect of this glitch is it resets everybody's positions. So there's a bunch of people talking to no one, or you'll just see like Finn and Jake in the background, like facing the wrong way.
The only other thing the pirates talked about was
So this is BMO. He's our, or they.
What does LSP want now?
I forget their exact
no.
pronoun. I think it's fluid, and it's also there's also a character named Football, which is basically like BMO's reflection that I think has the opposite pronoun.
PB and I trapped
So
those things in
I'm
a
just gonna
mine,
mess that
but
up. Sorry.
The flood must have let them escape.
BMO's awesome.
Mother Varmint is super
BMO's kind of like your support character, but in a really weird way. So every character has an ultimate, which they build through different conditions, kind of like in like in FF10. You can like change how your character builds their gauge. So Finn and Jake want to get hit. I think Marceline wants to do damage, and BMO wants to use items. So BMO's kind of like your... I guess they almost play like an alchemist. Like the FF job, where they want to use a bunch of items. And then that leads to their ultimate, which is, I think it's like a full heal. And it also gives everybody one of a buff from like a kind of like list. It can either make special abilities cheaper to use. It also gives us the tin effect, which just makes special abilities stronger. I feel like there's another effect that I just can't remember. But generally speaking, we don't use the ultimate abilities because they're not... None of them are so impactful. Okay. Mostly, none of them are more impactful than the things we can do with tins and double turns and whatnot. The other cool thing about BMO is BMO, since they're a robot, they don't have a defensive... Their defensive ability isn't blocking, so like Finn and Jake can block, Marceline can heal herself. BMO charges the energy gauge. So BMO basically takes a turn to be like a free battery, and it's awesome. She's like really nice for keeping her energy management in check.
Do we ever have to like give BMO new batteries?
No. They might say something along the lines of like batteries are dead when they faint, but no maintenance. BMO eats pie and apples like everybody else. If they get hurt, you just put a band-aid on them. Okay, so now we're coming back to the Candy Kingdom, which is being besieged by varmints. This is probably, especially after finding the infinite shop glitch, this went from being one of the worst fights to deal with to probably the most comfy if everything goes right. I'm gonna do this fight real quick. So we gotta max out our batteries. And so Jake is now high enough level to get the next version of his Doggerang attack, which hits 2 targets, which is just enough damage to take those guys out. It's gonna do something really cool for the Mother Varmint fight. So this fight's pretty simple. These arms are pretty weak. We don't have to use any special items or anything. More importantly, it gives BMO enough XP to level up, which we're going to take a step up before doing, because we could do a little skip here. So if I do this cutscene upgrade, so where the characters are is fixed on each map. So if I do this and hover over Finn, it triggers one of those forced camera cutscenes, so I don't have to watch it when it come out. Which is something I just randomly found, like, a couple months ago. Wasn't looking for it. Wasn't even sure what was going on, or how it worked for a second. Okay, so another Varmint is a kind of, like, peace boss. They've got, like, multiple parts that you gotta deal with. Basically, you gotta take out its arms, and then you can attack the head. And basically, for every extra arm it has, it gets to do more damage. Let me open my fight mode so I don't mess this up. So being able to take out, basically, if it keeps its arms up, it can one-shot BMO, and that just throws everything out of whack. The other really nice thing about being able to do as much damage as we are is if the Mother Varmint takes enough turns, on like its 3rd or 4th turn, it summons a bunch of varmints that you have to go through before you're allowed to attack it again. And those varmints have like a swarm attack that like basically one of them decides to do it, and then they all randomly attack your party. And she summons like 4 of them, and they can all do it. So yeah, this fight used to be an absolute mess that I would buy a bunch of items for and have like all sorts of contingency plans. And now it's pretty much a like 10-step to-do list.
That was hardcore.
That little bit of XP is really important for Marceline. There's only, I think, one fight after you get Marceline that it's okay to not let Marceline get the last hit.
We still don't know how the flood started.
It's like a,
if it has to do with another Enchirdion or something completely
it's like a margin of error of like 50 XP or something to get her to level 5 right now, which is really nice for
LSP's probably rallying more pirates
doing the next encounter quickly.
And she has a short attention span.
Because the next fight, we're getting pretty deep into the game. We only got one area left, the Fire Kingdom, before we make our way to the final boss. So the game wants us to be probably 7 or so, and Marceline just hit 5.
All right, let's get back to the boat.
So the next encounter we have to do. The enemies are kind of tanky, so having Marceline with that little bit of extra damage is nice. I'm gonna try and do this. Nope, just barely missed it. That's fine, it's barely a time loss. It's such a small time gain, it might as well be a swag strat. But it feels good to do. Okay, so now that we have BMO, oh, also sort of, not like explicitly stated, but every character has a like boat ability too. So Jake can grab stuff, Finn steering the boat, Marceline unlocks the cannon. BMO has sonar that basically has like these little glowing waypoints that tell you where to go. It's faster to go this way, so we basically ignore them.
Nice. I have
It'll get you there,
well wishes.
but I can get there faster. Go ahead.
I have well wishes for you. $10 from Pariah saying, "Hey Lare, your favorite video game character, Purple Tea Tetramino, here wishing you the best of luck in your run. But it looks like you don't need it. First try shop, Pog. Congrats on the world record the other day."
That's my guy, Pariah. It's like friend for life. Known him for forever and will know him forever. I almost considered having him on as a commentator. Like, he doesn't run the game, but I talked to him so much about it. He almost knows it as well as I do. He's got important law school stuff to do, so I'm not gonna bother him too much.
Hey, remember when you were
And I'm not explaining
Ooh, crazy times.
Purple Tetramino.
Yeah.
And then we also have $25 from I Rock This. Guys, we need to make sure Kiza can main the cat so Amy and Boxy feel at home. Also, my cat Finn, the cat not human, is very confused right now. And thanks again, everybody, for those donations. Just a reminder to anybody just coming in, this is RPG Limit Break 2022. We're raising money for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And NAMI serve as the preeminent source for people searching for life-changing guidance, information, and support as they navigate through mental health conditions. Their website alone serves more than 12 million unique visitors annually. Whew, sometimes words are hard. So, is that lava?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's lava. So yeah, now we're in the Fire Kingdom. I'm actually going to take a second, because I don't usually do the double turn strat for this fight, so I'll make sure I get it right. Basically, these guys are super tanky, but they're weak to wind, and Razor Claw is broken, so it's kind of a face roll. But sometimes they can be mean and just end up doing way too much damage. Nobody needs to be healed, so we'll just energy regen. I'm gonna go and attack for safety. This is kind of like a... I think this guy's health is like just barely out of range from Marceline to one shot, so we attack with Finn and Jake for safety. And perfect. Okay. So that's the last like small kind of like random encounter we need to do. All we have left are 2 boss battles, and most of the Fire Kingdom is kind of jumping around. So there's a fun little skip. The other interrogation sequence the game wants you to do is right there on that bridge we just jumped past. It's with Cinnamon Bun. And that one's actually kind of brutal. So the other interrogation sequences, they have like room for error. Like if you say the wrong sequence, they might get a little upset, but they're not gonna insta fail you. Cinnamon Bun will insta fail you and put you into like a really hard encounter if you say the wrong thing once. This is Flame Princess. Flame Princess is relatively new queen of the Flame Kingdom.
Well, maybe we can help with that.
Fire Princess is...
It's the Fire Kingdom core.
Fire Princess is really fun in the show. She's like Finn's first crush after he pseudo gets over Princess Bubblegum.
Oh man, again?
And the circumstances how they met each other is ridiculous.
It's the problem I spend the most time on.
But then they have like a bit of falling out. Finn ends up being like a teenage boy and just like does something like pretty scummy. But now we're like far along enough in the show that everybody's kind of matured and forgiven. So the Fire Kingdom is not doing too well during the flood, which only makes too much sense. So there's a bunch of water getting into the core room, and we need to go around, push these crates into the river so they'll block the like floodgates. I'm gonna do this really safely because those guys can just kind of like come up and bother you whenever they want. So I'm going to reset them, and then I'm going to open this chest. I don't know if I ever touched on this. Marceline's the only one that can open chests because they're like locked, but she's got an axe. There's also this weird... oops, that was wrong. Jake was not safe, which is fine. I just ran away. So the reason I defend there at the beginning of any encounter that I get into but don't want to is because it costs 2 energy to run away, but you generate 1 at the start of every character's turn. And Finn's always guaranteed to go right after Jake. So I defend with Jake, and like him starting gets me 1, and then with Finn's turn, I get another 1, and then spend 2. So it's like a net loss of, it's a net 0 gain loss. This part's, now we get into random enemies like really annoying me. They're just like being in the wrong spot and wanting to get you into encounters. Oh hey, they put me on the other side. Nice. I basically just needed to get past them. But I feel like facing the wrong way, sometimes it's near impossible. One more brick. Oh, I actually should have checked out that shop earlier because I really want a double turn for the final fight. Hey, there we go.
What do you know? It's time for me to say goodbye, but I'll be back with more supplies.
Hi.
Come over here. We got one more crate to go for, and this crate's fun. There's like a bunch of different ways to do it without triggering the encounter that's right there. This one's theoretically the fastest, but the hardest to do. But it's not so hard that I'm not going to go for it. There's basically like 3 different ways to kind of like jump into this area. This one just happens to be the first you come across. It requires you to jump on that rock, which is kind of precise, and then you have to jump off the rock, like at the optimal distance.
I hate getting wet.
It's really finicky to line up.
I hate getting wet.
I believe in you.
There we go. Okay, then we're gonna get off Jake. Then I'm gonna swap to somebody else, swap back to Jake, and then jump back on here, and we're good.
Hey there. You see anyone coming this way?
Okay, now can we? Oh, they were all facing the other way, and then they just decided to turn around. That's okay. It kicks us out to basically where we want to go. I think I have enough energy for the next fight. Okay, so we got all the crates. Now we're going to go check in with Flame Princess. And we're going to do probably the biggest and most finicky skip in the run. So we're going to check back in with Flame Princess. She's not doing too well. Because basically everybody in the Fire Kingdom, their health is like directly related to like how hot the core is.
Fire in the core must be really low. Too much water must have gotten
So she needs us to go into the core room and check it out. So you see those little braziers in the background. There's a puzzle the game wants us to do as Finn, where you basically pick up like that one bowl of fire and light all the other ones. But you have to do it as as Finn solo, and it's really slow. So we're going to basically break in. Don't look my way. With a really intense super jump and clip. I don't think I got high enough. I've just barely gotten high enough? Yes! It's like the perfect jump. That jump is really scary because you have to jump just high enough to bridge the gap, but not so high that you end up clipping through the ground.
No wonder the fires are low. I can't believe how
Very
much
happy I
water
got that first try.
Sabotaging the
Now I gotta
emergency
upgrade
valves
everybody.
Seriously, dude?
What do I need?
How'd you turn into such a
I
jerk?
have a double turn, but I'm not gonna
Does
use
it really
it.
matter? Of course it matters.
So,
I mean, you're kind of me. It's kind of like seeing what I
I gotta do this one pretty fast.
I don't like it. You caused this flood. Not exactly, but I helped.
I do need
Who did you
Dogger
help?
Ring.
Yeah, and they already pretty much donked up all of Ooh. How come they sent you here to mess with the Fire Kingdom?
To distract you. They don't
So
want
this
you
boss
around
is
until they're good and
really
ready.
interesting. This is another boss that used to be a nightmare before we just had infinite tins of overcharge. Because it's a cycle-based boss, and it also hits really hard. But it's got a gimmick that really works in our favor.
Okay, well, have fun
So,
being your hero.
just because you're probably not going to see it, this boss has 16,000 health. And for reference, the Flame Guards at the beginning had like 2,500. I still never got those used tissues. So what we're going to do... what the game wants you to do is it wants you to confuse the Guardian. It's like, I think the one status condition it's not resistant to. And I didn't get it, so I gotta wait. Awesome. Thank God he missed. His attacks, like, burn. They do a bunch of damage, and they also afflict you with overheat, I think is what it's called, which is basically like a dot tick. Luckily, blocking makes you immune to any status effects, so as long as he doesn't get the first one, you're usually pretty safe. Okay, one more time. Just need you to be boggled. This guy. So I need him to be boggled because he's basically like a spinning top. And so when I get him boggled and he does that move, it'll force him to turn around. At which point, I'll be able to attack him and kind of like expose his battery. And when he's exposed, he takes massive damage. There we go. Finally boggled him. This is still kind of awkward. I guess now he's going to do that attack. Okay. I will bring Finn back up to make sure I get as many turns as possible. It's basically, I have until his next turn to do as much damage as possible. I think I'm just going to do what damage I can. Normally you'd want to do Marceline, just because that does the most damage. Like a single attack, like a single Razor Claw from Marceline does over 10,000 damage. Looks like we're not going to get that. So I'm just going to try and do the damage that I can. Oh, hey, there we go. This is a really weird scenario, so I wasn't exactly sure how the turn order was going to end up. And there we go. And that's the Guardian.
GG.
The double turn strat is ridiculously fast. Like, if it works, Jake spins him, Finn double turns Marceline, opens him up, and then Marceline just wins.
What do we need to do?
It literally takes like 30 seconds.
There's only one person who has enough fire to fix this. Torcho.
So now we're gonna go on another
ever since she was punished for trying to overthrow
elaborate
her
fetch
father,
quest.
She's been hiding out at the royal
So the
retreat on
core's
Fire
all
Island.
messed up, and everybody in the Fire Kingdom's too weak to try to power it back up, so we're gonna go find Torcho. As far as I know, is like completely original to the game. Which is kind of cool. I also really like how she refers to Torcho as her father's niece and not her cousin.
Cool.
Oh yeah, so we broke away in here. We're gonna use this chest to break away back out. And that jump is way simpler and nicer. I need... So I'm trying to be really careful about running over breakable objects in this area because there's another glitch I kind of have in my back pocket for the final boss if I run out of tins of overcharge, but it requires me to basically only have tins of overcharge in that section of my inventory. And if I run over these breakable objects, there's a possibility that I get fire gems, and then I'd have to burn through those somehow. So now we're going to the last unique... Gems? Yeah. I've been trying to, like, drop subtle puns throughout this whole run and just, like, not acknowledge them. So now we're going to Firebreak Island. It's going to be the last unique area of the run. Because if we go to Firebreak Island, we go back, and then we go to the final boss. There's no encounters on Firebreak Island, so it's all movement and trick abuse. So it's kind of interesting section of the run. And also, like, when you know, like, how the game wants you to do it, it feels really weird and sketchy.
Gonna read you a quick donation while we're getting up here.
Yeah,
there's a $15 donation from Geister Carl. So much work and time to enjoy my favorite speedrunning marathon of the year. Keep up the good vibes and good RNG to you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, so here's the first skip. So this is another area that, if basically I took another step forward, it forced me to play as BMO, because there's a bunch of rocks at the top of this Jake elevator, which is what that, like, interaction circle is. And it wants you to play as BMO through this section, but we can walk around that trigger and just go as the whole party. So that's why all the camera angles are really weird, and it's, like, not quite catching up with me. This next part's also really weird, so it really doesn't want me to go up this step until we kind of, like, do it as intended, but we can kind of do another character swap strat, where I jump up as Jake, swap to somebody else, and then swap back to Jake, and that prevents the game from basically forcing Jake off of the step. And now we're just gonna run past these guys. Okay. Their, like, cone of detection is really weird. I think two of them just straight up don't have one. There's also, yeah, I think I actually did trigger them. So they'll, like, start chasing you, and if they get close enough, they actually will start an encounter as soon as you get out of this cutscene. But if, as soon as you get through the cutscene, they're supposed to despawn. And that glitch is really fun because for some reason it causes, like,
Good point. Okay, I'll help.
not screen tearing, but kind of like image duplication. It's just, like, really trippy.
Cool. No offense.
Okay, so we found Torcho. Torcho needs us to
Just meet me at the core when you
grab
got
some
everything
things,
I need.
which is weird because what we end up doing is picking up these, like, magma cores, It's not really a list of things. They're just kind of there. So we're going to do a slightly unattended jump to get this first one, and then these guys are also really annoying to get by. Thankfully, they're playing nice this time. So sometimes they're just on a path that's like almost impossible to get through, and you don't want them to see you because they cheat. Enemies aren't supposed to cross like river gaps like that, but they do it anyway. And if they catch you, they put you in a kind of like stun lock loop of like, even if you escape from them, it's almost impossible to get far enough away from them to not get into the encounter again. Okay, next trick. So this section, like down here, where those flame guards are in that magma core, that's another Marceline stealth section, which remember you can only do as the intended character, unless we do this. And now we have the entire party with us during this. I can't believe I messed that up.
Oh,
okay.
No.
That's okay. We're just going to, trust me, this is the fastest way. Screen's gonna go black for a second. I'm going to force reset the game because I can't run away, and dying just gonna be, sorry. Dying's gonna be really slow. So I'm just going to reset the game and it'll put me right back where I was jumping down. Just give it a second to come back up.
In that second, there's an $11 donation from Mokomichi USA that says, from the Japanese restream, konbanwa. But apparently this went to name the evil Lord Keishura? Me? Evil? Oh, no, of course not.
I mean, if Adventure Time has taught me anything, it's the innocent ones you gotta look out for. Or the innocent looking ones. Okay, take two. So now we're going to break everybody into the Marceline stealth section. And there's a particular reason they want you to just play as Marceline. I'm just gonna do this relatively safe. Because the game's going to do something. It's going to try to break up the party. But we have the party. So something's weird's going to happen. So BMO's in our party. And there's BMO floating down the river. My headcanon for this instance is that's football. And therefore, they're not part of the party, so we don't have to go rescue them. So we can just keep going on our way. Whoops.
Come on, Jake.
Okay, now I definitely didn't get the skip. So there's a... If I do that section fast enough, it skips this cutscene. Or I think it's doing it fast enough. It's really weird. I really don't understand the condition for getting that skip. But swapping to Jake and just doing it as fast as possible seems to be the way to do it. I'm actually going to force this encounter because I need a certain amount of energy before I go into the final boss. I was probably okay, but better safe than sorry. The other nice thing about like this encounter is it kicks you out all the way over here. So it's not as much of a time loss as it could be. Now we're gonna go back to the Fire Kingdom, break back into the core room because that puzzle is still like waiting to be solved. And then we'll be on our merry way to the final boss. So plenty of downtime here.
Puzzles? Not in my speed runs. So yeah, everybody, you may have noticed talk about incentives and prizes. Basically, this means that you get to vote with your wallet to name characters, get our runners to complete difficult or ridiculous tasks, and help pick which story you want to see in certain games, and sometimes even languages or voice actors. So you can you can become eligible to win prizes donated by community members, and then of course all donations go to NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. So for more information, check out the channel bio for a link to the 2020 22 tracker, and of course, you can use our commands in chat to pull up anything that you're looking for. And it looks like we are right here to go solve knot puzzles.
Yep. We're going to abuse glitches and jump over walls that aren't there. The other funny thing about skipping, is funny to me, skipping the cinnamon bun interrogation that happens right there, is like all the guys are still set up or ready to go. And if you like hit one of them, it will start the encounter. But as soon as you talk to Flame Princess, that whole thing just gets deactivated. It's one of those things that like feels really weird to just like drive right by enemies that are ready to get you. Oh! I do not want to get into that encounter. That's the other really annoying thing about this trick is sometimes they just come over to mess with you. I'm gonna reset completely because I can hear them walking. I think this is okay. This might be a little tall. Okay, I landed on a rock. Awesome. I'm actually gonna try something here. I actually don't remember if this works or not. Basically, I'm gonna do the cutscene upgrade trick to reset everybody's position, because this isn't quite where the cutscene was triggered. But there's this weird thing that happens towards the entrance of the core room where the game knows the fire puzzle isn't solved, so whenever you go into the fire puzzle area, it still forces you to play as solo Finn, but there's no Z check for the puzzle room, so even though we're like under it, so usually when I come out of this cutscene it forces you into solo Finn, because we're in that area, but
You never know with magic.
if I use the cutscene upgrade glitch to reset my character's position,
We've got bigger problems anyway.
I don't think I'll be outside of the puzzle room area, but I'll be closer to the edge, so I can get out of it quicker.
Or why they're even doing all
I basically just have to walk around as Finn until the game thinks I'm out of the area before I can swap back to
Ice
Jake.
King was the only one there when all this stuff went down. Maybe there's something he
And
forgot to tell
walking
you.
is noticeably slower than Scooter.
What do you think, Jake?
Might as well. At least it'll be a chance to cool down. Even with the flame shield, this place kind of toasts my buns.
Let's head back to the boat then. Catch you later, princess.
Okay, so now we should be... Nope, didn't work at all. I've only done it like once, so I legitimately didn't remember if it worked or not.
We're blue.
Yeah, so Flame Kingdom is hot, and as Fire Princess was just saying in that cutscene, she had like her like a fire citizen cast a flame shield on us, so we don't just like instantly get boiled. So now whenever we come here, we'll be blue. These guys are not working with me. There we go. We're just for like the next 2 minutes because we're immediately leaving and never coming back. And so yeah, we've kind of, so we saved the Fire Kingdom, we saved the Candy Kingdom, and then at the end of it, we're just kind of like, yeah, we've literally solved nothing, and we're no closer to finding out what's going on than when we started. So Fire Princess has the brilliant idea to go talk to Ice King again, because maybe he'll tell you something now.
We missed the perfect chance to sing a bad rendition of something about blue. Oh well.
That's okay. The cast has a different song for you guys.
All right, let's do this.
While we're making our way over there, just to remind you all, up next is Cat Quest 2. You can bid on whether or not Kisa is going to main the dog or the cat. The dog is at $106 and cat is at $30 right now. So, you know, if you are a cat person and you think that the cat should be the main in the run, you should definitely get your donations in there and get in the run for some awesome prizes.
We're done. Mic drop. Boom.
Do you think this will catch on?
So, Blair, who is your favorite character out of the cast on the boat?
The cast on the boat. I don't know why, but that's annoyingly tough. I feel like... I think I'm gonna have to go with Finn. Just because he has such... He's got a really weird... almost like Zen Buddhism view on life, but his personality is very almost like 90s skater kid. I think he just like embodies the humor of Adventure Time, which I absolutely love. They just like approach things in a like almost uncanny, sensible way. Like they don't approach like situations and problems like TV characters do. They kind of do it like you and your friends do.
That's pretty cool. Thanks for sharing.
Looks like the Ice King is making good progress.
There's just like this weird clash of expectation. Okay, so here's the last cutscene upgrade we're gonna do, and I positioned them perfectly for something kind of funny to happen.
You've been busy. Nice job, man.
Just in case. This is the final boss, so we can buy whatever we want. So I'm just gonna dump all my money into whatever I can. Which I haven't put any money into dodge this entire run because it just hasn't been worth it. But this side it is, because the final boss hits pretty hard.
We also know that the crystal in your crown is probably connected to the
So
Enchirdion.
this glitch for this cutscene in particular is kind of fun. I think I just missed it.
It's a big old book for heroes.
Because you can see what Finn and Jake are doing when the camera isn't pointing at them.
What guy?
The guy who gave me back my crown the other day, of course. You see, Gunter likes to take my
It's coming
crown
up
when I'm asleep
right
and hide
here.
it. Oh, he is such a little scamp. Anywho, the day before this melting biz started, I had a hard time finding my crown, and this nice guy gave it back
So yeah,
to me.
that little expression Finn does, you never see it. It's literally off camera.
That guy who's related to Princess
And the first time I saw it,
Gumbo or Gummy or something.
Her great uncle
it really looked like to me Finn was saying something a little PG-13.
Yeah, but
But looking at it again, I think he's saying for the love of.
he must be the one Fern is
But
working with. Again!
You know,
reading cartoon lips is hard.
should have been able to figure that out on our own a long time ago.
What? That's
And I have a big
silly.
reveal. It was Gumball all along.
Mr. Blue over there.
Hey,
So if you don't know who that is, if you've seen a lot of Adventure Time, that's totally understandable. He's kind of the big bad of like the entire show, and only comes up like at the end of season 8 or 9, very tail end of the series. So
we decided to make it look like one of her
So Princess Bubblegum, thousands of years old, made the Candy Kingdom. Before she made the Candy Kingdom, she made her Uncle Gumball, Uncle Chicle, and I can't remember the aunt's name, but they're also like a gum pun.
Nobody did.
Yeah, you didn't do a very good job framing her.
And they kind of got a little more authoritative than she liked.
And you almost sunk the candy
They
too.
try to like
If PB hadn't figured out a way to
take
save it,
over
you wouldn't have
her
had a kingdom to take
experiments,
over.
kind of like take over her life. So she turned them into like these ridiculous, dumbed down candy people.
No, man, that's just being weird. There's a lot of weird people.
I forget what triggered
Tell
them
me about it.
turning back into their real selves,
Even
but
with all of the screw-ups, we still
eventually they did, and they come back and they kind of cause the final crisis of the show. Uncle Gumball is also really fun because another thing that Adventure Time really likes to do is they just kind of like lay little breadcrumbs throughout the show to come back to later. So like they'll like in Finn's past life regression episode, it's like a nightmare that he's having, but that nightmare is like a monster that he sees like 2 seasons earlier that's just never addressed. So Uncle Gumball is name dropped like 2 or 3 times throughout the show, but doesn't make an on-screen appearance until the very end. Alright, so the final fight's kind of weird. Gumball's forced to go first, and Finn is forced, or Gumball and the Banana Guards are scripted to go first, and then Finn, so it literally doesn't matter who I start as, Finn's always going first. So, let me double check my notes. We are going to double turn Marceline, because she's cracked. And then we're going to chill. And then basically the idea is to double turn Tin Charge, Double Claw, or Deadly Swipe as often as possible. So if you do that 3 or 4 times, Gumball will go down. Problem is, Gumball and the Banana Guards hit kind of hard, and Gumball hits twice because he gives himself a double turn. I don't have... Oh, okay, battery. He also likes to block. Luckily, I remembered, like, a month ago, BMO has an ability to just flump an enemy, so he can't block. So this fight became way more consistent, kind of out of the blue. I'm pretty low on resources, so I don't want to, like, spam special abilities. The only problem with using Flumped is the Banana Guards will cure it, so I have to reapply it every time. And eventually they do speed up Gumball, so I am eventually going to lose tempo. So it's not as guaranteed. We're going to use a... Oh, nice. So that's the reason we use Ice Sword right there. There's a chance to slow Gumball. And if we do, we kind of keep his turn order in check, so I can basically keep him flumped for the rest of the fight. Okay, I just need to do that one more time. If I have... Okay, I want to do this battery. And then I want to flump him. And we should be good to go. I think I'm going to attack with Finn and Jake just in case. Yeah, his health is looking a little bit high. Marceline, don't die on me. That's the worst thing that could have possibly happened. Okay. Now we're just going to have to do special abilities. Like, Tin Charge other characters' abilities. And now BMO can't recharge if I wanted to. Okay. That's fine. Okay. There's a small chance I lose here, and that's literally never happened. Okay, I can't charge, so I'll flump. As long as Marceline can take her turn, I think we're fine. So I'm just gonna keep Marceline alive and pass on everybody else. I'm pretty okay. Okay, there we go.
Yummy.
Okay, there we go. Run's not done yet. We still have, according to the rules, we have a little bit more to go. We have to actually resolve the flood. But the hard part's done.
Well, that's that.
Woo, almost GG.
Ooh, is still flooded. It'll take forever for all this water
Almost
to
got
evaporate
like
or whatever.
3 more minutes.
Maybe this will help. Look.
So,
that
BMO's looking through the Enchirdion.
The old book says that. If we find it and pull it out,
yeah.
the water will go
Apparently
away.
there's a drain plug
Times, dude.
in the world.
Yeah.
Literally like in Finn and Jake's backyard. They just like
Yeah.
didn't know
We
about.
could, maybe sail around a little more first.
So to finish off the run, we got to
on its own eventually.
Go
Whatevs. It's up to you guys.
unplug the drain. So one last sailing sequence.
And while we're sailing, I've got some cool donations for you. You ready? So we have $200 from Anonymous. Thank you so much for your generous donation.
Whoa.
It says more half-minute hero. Yes, please. And that went to the bonus, another goddess bonus stage for half-minute hero. So we're at $200 of 500, so just 300 more for that. And then, well, wouldn't you know that we had a change of leadership in the bid war for cat versus dog. So we currently have cat at $130 and dog at $106. And what changed, you said? Well, Iceburner donated $100 and said, "Heart you, Linty Cat." Thank you so much, Iceburner, for that $100. Got a problem with cats? Well, I guess... Oh, wait, we have another one from Tokuhiro with $5 for its Cat Quest. Cat Quest! Thank you so much, everybody, for your generous donations. And just a reminder that we are... Go ahead, if you wanted to say something.
I was going to say, that did really catch me off guard, that playing as a dog was an incentive for a game called Cat Quest. So I agree with that, Donator.
If you played the first one, it makes a little sense because there's like a dog kingdom. So I guess this one is like the for the next, like you get to have the cat and the dog or something like that.
All right, so time is coming up. It's going to be when the boat crashes into the ground. Which I kind of didn't like at first. Actually, let it happen, and then I'll explain why. And time.
Ow!
And that's Pirates of the Enchirdion.
Thank you so much, Lair, for playing Pirates of the Enchirdion.
Yeah, pickles on the enchilada.
Just wanted to let you know that the Ice
Yes,
Kingdom
pickles
is
on
good
the
as new.
enchilada.
No more melting.
Awesome.
Oh, and that Fern guy
But yeah,
didn't catch me.
I originally didn't like the
Nah, I don't know
timing
where he
for
is.
that
Not really
because
my scene. I usually
last
leave
hit,
the
I think it's
heroes
just
to
kind of
you
like more
guys.
standardized.
Speaking of which,
But I've come around to
whatever
it
that gumdrop
because
dude was
as
bloody
that whole sequence is happening, it plays the like intro music from the show, and the crash lines up right when the fist bump happens in the intro. So now it's like way more. It just kind of like feels a little better. But yeah, thanks for having me. I was glad I was able to show off this obscure game to at least some new faces. A big thing I really wanted to get out of this showcase is just getting this in front of more eyeballs, getting more people potentially interested in the run. It's not too hard to pick up. I feel like it's because it was like the only game that I've speedran even like remotely seriously. I feel like it's pretty easy to get into. Super safe to do. Like I messed up so many times and never lost the run. I'm also working on a Google Doc that like walks you through how the run is done now, all the different like tips and tricks, every little thing you need to know about the game. So there's gonna be all kinds of resources to get into this. So yeah, check it out. The Discord link to the like Adventure Time Speedrun Discord. There's like a bunch of different games in there, all collected in one Discord. You can find that on speedrun.com. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. That was Adventure Time with Pirates of the Enchirdion with LareHalfmoon. And thank you so much for that wonderful run. I have been Keishira. Thanks for having me, everybody. Make sure that you stay tuned for lots of wonderful runs still today and more, of course, this week. Up next is going to be Cat Quest to any percent with Kizaron, so stay tuned.
Hello and welcome back to RPG Limit Break 2022, running live from Salt Lake City, Utah, proudly supporting the National Alliance on Mental